Professor of Political Sciences and teaches Asian economies at the Stern School of Business at New York University. Professor, it's a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you for your time. Firstly, Chinese President Xi Jinping started the meeting off by saying that a sound and steady U.S.-China relationship is required. Both countries should respect each other. Do you think this meeting is starting on a foot of mutual respect?
No, I think the challenge that we have is that they just have a core difference of interests. And so whatever they can do to make a more cordial relationship between the two presidents, at its heart, they have conflicts on trade, on Taiwan, on Asia more generally. And politically in both countries, the leaders are under pressure to toe a tougher line. And so I just don't think we're going to see much change come out of this meeting.
No change coming out of the meeting then. So what do you think are the key issues that both countries really need to untangle before they can mutually and respectfully move forward as two superpowers?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge is Taiwan right now, which is that the U.S. wants a peaceful resolution to the Taiwan issue, and China, even if it's not going to move aggressively now, doesn't feel it can afford to take force off the table. But there's just a heightened fear, particularly in U.S. Security circles, that an invasion within the next 5 years is possible. Even if they can come to an accommodation or an understanding in the short term on that, then we're just falling into all of the current trade disputes, tariffs, intellectual property issues, U.S. attempts to limit technology transfer because we now see China as an emerging threat. The idea that the U.S. is acting to contain China in Asia with a network of alliances. All of those are sort of issues that are on the back burner that just come to the front burner, even if we see some progress on Taiwan.
It seems as though China and the U.S. have disputes on so many fronts. You mentioned Taiwan, there's Hong Kong, there's the Uyghur issue, there's global trade. How do they even start prioritizing all this so that they can both move forward?
Well, I think the one helpful thing is that both countries are not in an interest right now in sort of exploding these issues. So I think what we're going to see is just a lot of agreement to disagree, and then some quiet work to find sort of pieces, particularly in areas like trade and economic issues where they can come together. I think when it comes to human rights, the U.S. is not going to compromise, and China views that as a core issue of sovereignty. They're not going to do so either. The more interesting thing is on Taiwan to at least kind of take the story off the front pages and to come to some kind of understanding of China's vision of like what's a status quo for Taiwan that's acceptable, that's obviously taking the threat of invasion off the table. I'm a little pessimistic that we'll see anything like that soon. I think this is a process that's going to take several years.
All right, Professor Joseph Foudy, we appreciate your time once more. Thank you.